Hey YouTube, what's up? Sergeant Master's coming back with you with another video, but this time it's a little different. This is a special request Stormchaser2011 asked me to make for him concerning how to properly field strip a 12 gauge. I assume, Stormchaser, you have a 12 gauge similar to my Mossberg 500 right here. That's what this is. I assume it's also a pump action type of shotgun. Here's the action right here, the pumping part. And basically a field strip with any firearm, whether it's a rifle, whether it's a pistol, you're breaking it down into its basic components, such as taking out the barrel, taking out the buffer spring, or what I call the buffer spring. If it's a semi-auto, taking out the barrel, cleaning it, and really not going much beyond cleaning the barrel, maybe the slide, the receiver, stuff like that. If it's a pistol, or same if it's an M16, you got an upper and lower receiver, rod in the bore, making sure there's no carbon buildup in the bore, cleaning the bolt carrier grouping and the bolt. Something similar to that. It's essentially it's all the same. You're just breaking it down. If you're out in what we call a field strip in the hunting or a combat situation, you're breaking it down to its basic components quickly so you can give it a cleaning, and that cleaning should sustain you through your, I guess, hunting trip if you're hunting, or if you're in a combat zone while you're doing a tour in a combat zone. So let's get to it. I've already checked, guys, and I've checked the tube, I've checked my bolt carrier and the pipe and stuff like that. Nothing's in there. I'm just doing that just to expedite things a little bit. And the first thing you're going to want to do when you field strip any firearm, other than making it safe, that's the first thing, making sure there's no live rounds in there. And if you're not familiar with a shotgun, Stormchaser, all shotguns, pump action shotguns, single shot, you should be able to break it down if it's a breakdown version, and look in the tube and see if there's any rounds in here. But this little button, there's like a little, and it might be in slightly different places depending what kind of shotgun you have. I know my lighting's bad in here. I can't use my basement because it's all flooded out from sewer and nasty shit backing up. But anyway, right in front of my finger there's like a little lever button type deal. If there's still shells in your tube right here, that's the tube, basically the magazine that holds your shotgun shells. While you're depressing that down with one hand, you can rack the action back and forth of the shotgun, and that should throw those shells out of there without having to shoot, pump, and dispose of your shells that way. But it wouldn't be the best way to do it. But if you depress that button and work the action back and forth several times, making sure all of your shots are out of the tube, and then racking it a few more times just to make sure nothing else comes out, and then checking the chamber, and you can do that. Let me set you down real quick. I'll show you kind of what I mean. It's a pain in the ass now that my basement's all messed up. Can't use anything anymore. Okay. And basically, when you think all the shells are out of your firearm, you can check the chamber just by sticking your finger in the tube like that. And if you don't feel anything, feel your finger button up against anything, you don't have anything in there. So we won't get too carried away like some people do. But just remember that little lever, work the action back and forth a couple times while you're depressing the lever. Should throw out all of your shotgun shells, including the one in the chamber, and do it a few more times just to make extra sure, and put it on safe. Should be good to go. Okay, the first thing with all shotguns, I don't know about semi-auto, but I know about pump action shotguns, you're going to have a little, this is like a bolt, and again my quality's crappy here. This little bolt you're going to want to unscrew is the first thing you need to do, and just unscrew it counterclockwise like that. And it might take you a second to really get it out of there. And what that's doing, it's loosening the barrel from the magazine here. That's one way the barrel's held on, and it came loose. So let me put you down again, because the next thing you're going to do is, while depressing the lever again, is bring the action about 2/3 of the way back, and your barrel should slide right out. Let me do that real quick. Set you down. Okay. About 2/3 of the way out. Okay. worked just like I said it did. It worked just like I said it did because here I have the barrel in my hand. Now this is kind of the tricky part with the barrel. I'm just going to put it up here and show you, Storm Chaser. With the barrel, it's quite long, and to clean it, there's a product out on the market, and you can get it at any sporting goods store like Dick's or something closer to you, whatever you have around your area. It's called a bore snake. It's a long little, it looks like a small, somebody took a small sock and kind of just stretched it out about 2 feet or whatever like that. It's that type of material, and it's stuffed with, I guess, nylon or some kind of stuffing. And anyways, the bore snake has, along the bore snake in certain sections of it, it'll have brass, little miniature brass brushes kind of around it. So that way all you do is you drop the bore snake in here. There should be a string at the end. Pull the string out, and that little sock type material and your bristle brushes that are made into the bore snake should clean your bore for you. So you have to do that a couple times and your bore should be nice and clean. I don't get carried away when I clean my bore a whole lot of a shotgun. It's not like my AR-15 or any type rifle like that. A couple passes with the bore snake should be good enough. I mean, you could probably make something, maybe like cut a t-shirt down into a strand or two and tie it, and then put some good sized knots in it and then pull it through like that. I didn't have very much success with that. I just cleaned it the best I could with a piece of old t-shirt I had, tried to drag it through there, and that was good enough. But a bore snake you probably want to invest in. I need to get one myself. So, but at any rate, okay, now we have basically the meat and potatoes of the shotgun here. There's your magazine tube, there's your action, and the bolt carrier group. And what I would do is, set you down again, is I would bring the action forward like you were racking it. Or actually you can pull the action all the way back. And then you got your chamber exposed. Damn it. You got your chamber exposed. The bolt carrier is to the rear. That way you can get in there and clean out that your housing, if you will, maybe with an old rag, t-shirt or something that doesn't have a whole lot of lint on it. Now I'm going to tell you what you want to use besides rags are Q-tips and pipe cleaners. Pipe cleaners are the best. Sometimes if you get Q-tips in a tight area, maybe in the bolt carrier group or whatever, if like my rifle, my AR, or something like that, there's some little tight areas that a Q-tip will fit in. But if you're not careful when you're using that Q-tip and twisting it around to try to clean out carbon and dirt and stuff, that cotton head will come off and it'll get stuck in there, and now you got a whole new problem of trying to get the Q-tip head out. Pipe cleaners usually work the best, though. You want to get you a mess of those. I guess you can get them from a smoke shop or anywhere that sells pipe materials, like tobacco or whatever. They should have them. Those work the best. And let's see, maybe slide it forward. Now there's your bolt carrier and stuff like that, firing pin in there. I'm not going to go on beyond breaking it this far down. You've got to drive out some pins. There's some pins, and I know it's a little hard to see here, I think right there's one. And if you have a punch, you can drive those out and take apart your receiver further. And I know there's a couple videos on YouTube, because I watched them, on how to completely disassemble the partner protector, another shotgun that I have. But I don't like going that far in depth, because when you break something down beyond what's known as a field strip, that's an armorer's level breakdown. And armorers are way more trained about disassembly of firearms, kind of like a gunsmith type level of training than I have. But a field cleaning should be good enough, should get you through whatever you need. If you want to go even further than that, then you probably want to take you a couple armor type classes that teach you how to go beyond just breaking down a normal field strip. But with all my firearms, I've field stripped all of them. Like I said, use the Q-tips, pipe cleaners, whatever, to get in those hard to reach places. And I've had some success or you know, more success than not. So let's see if I can get some better light here. This is suck-ass lighting. Now, with your bolt in here, also get you a toothbrush. A medium or stiff bristled brush will do you good. I have a military type cleaning, looks like a little toothbrush on one end, and the other end has finer bristles. That works pretty good. You're just going to get in there the best you can. You can probably get in it from, let me show you this, from this end of it and clean, you know, what you can't get at one spot, like on the receiver or the ejection port right here. You could probably get in from, you know, the business end of your 12 gauge, you know, under the assumption that you, of course, you rendered it safe and took your barrel out. But one thing I've used on some of my firearms, and you got to be careful with it, is starting fluid, choke and carb cleaner, or starting fluid, which is ether that comes in cans. Now the thing with using ether, it cleans everything really good, gets all the dirt, gets most of the carbon out, does a really good job of getting all that crud and crap out. But the thing is that it dries everything out. So if you use ether on it and on some spots that are hard to reach, you're going to want to make sure you're a little bit more, put you down again, you're a little bit more generous with your oil than you normally would be. So because that ether will dry up all the oil and moisture in your firearm. Not that there should be an abundance of moisture, but what I would do if yours is anything like mine, which I'm assuming it is just get in there with the best you can with some, like I said, an old t-shirt, toothbrush is good, pipe cleaners would be great, and just get in there and what you can't, like I said, what you can't get in one spot, just come to the other spot. And let me shut this. Okay, and don't forget to oil your slide arms right here. That's basically what your wood handle right here, your foregrip sits on, those rails, and that's part of the action that chucks a new shell. Part of the action that chucks a new shell up into your chamber, and so you can take another shot. So this one has two, I believe, one on each side. Just give those a light amount of oil. On most of the firearm, you shouldn't need a boatload of oil. It's never a good idea to put an abundance of oil on any weapon because, yeah, it'll lubricate it just fine, but it also will attract dirt and crud, and you get that carbon buildup after shooting for a while, so it's more likely to jam up your works in there than really do any good. So just a sparing, you know, a light coat of oil on the slide arms, and in the chamber here when I slid back the bolt carrier group, just a general amount, light amount of oil in the housing right here. Basically anywhere where there's metal to metal contact is what you're going to want to oil. That's my rule of thumb, and a light coat will do. Less is more when you're lubing down a firearm, unless it specifically calls for a certain amount of oil, which I don't know any weapon that does that. So, but I hope this answered your question. Sorry I couldn't break it down anymore. This involves, like I said, driving out some pins, which I could probably do. I haven't done before, and I don't really feel comfortable with it right now. I need a little bit of practice and somebody with me just in case I messed it up. So I hope this answers your question. And if your shotgun's a semi-auto, it should work the same. There may be a couple different mechanisms here and there as far as the semi-automatic action goes. I've never owned a semi-automatic shotgun, but if yours is a pump, like I said, like mine, all of them, it's pretty much a universal breakdown. You loosen that bolt on the end of the magazine, and then rack the action back about 2/3, and then take your barrel out. And the installation is just the reverse of how you got it out. Hang on a second. Put it 2/3 of the way out. Basically, if you can see there's these little basically holes in the barrel, in the end of the barrel right there, and you just slide it in. I'm not going to do it all right here. I'm trying to do two things at once. Lock it back in, screw it down, and then slide your action forward, and then you can check it. If you hear anything loose or rattling, then you probably didn't put it in right, so just take it back out. But that's the main thing. As long as when you get that back in there and screw it down, it might click to let you know when it's all the way tight. Or you'll just feel it tightening up, and that's good enough too. So just let me know if you need to know anything else about it. This is pretty much everything I know about a 12 gauge. I'm not the, you know, a 12 gauge aficionado or anything, or the final authority on it, but that should be sufficient enough to get you going. Talk to you later. Bye.